ready, set, you're good to go.
And anyways, graduation was to be the biggest time. Well, several weeks before graduation, I, along with some others, were picked to fly the P-40. And there was only 10 of us in the whole group, or our class anyways, that were picked to fly the P-40. So we each got, 10 hours or so in the P-40. And it was the first real fighter that we flew. And it was a terrific airplane, but man, you had to keep your right foot pushed down on the rudder pedal because it had a tremendous amount of torque in it. And once you got off the ground, it was okay, beautiful then. And anyways, we were taught all the known tactics of the fighter pilot and with the fighter plane, which was nice. We enjoyed that tremendously. Mostly tactics and stuff like that. We didn't go in cross countries. All of that stuff was passed. But then, okay, once we finished that, then what happened? Then we had to go finish off our gunnery school. So at this time, we were in Foster Field, Texas, which was our advanced flying school. And I don't think I identified that in the past. Anyways, we went from Enid, Oklahoma, to Foster Field, which was Victoria, Texas, and which was a lovely base too. And I think we got about 100 hours or something while flying there, and not including the P-40 time. To take our gunnery school, unfortunately, we had to fly our P-6s or AT-6 over to an island where. I'm trying to think of the name of the island. Doggone it, it just slipped my mind for a minute. But it's off the coast of Texas, and it's where the gunnery school was. And this is because it was isolated and everything. Why there was no problem. So we constantly flew while we were over there. I don't know how many hours we got in, but we got in a number of hours. But mostly with gunnery. We had 2 machine guns mounted on the advanced trainer, the AT-6, and that's what we used for our air-to-ground and air-to-air practice, or see how good we were, our gunnery, train us. So we did that, and it was by then, I think this was on the 4th of December. Our graduation day was on the 5th of December, and here we were over on this island. Matagorda Island was the name of the island. And we were over there when the weather socked in. And I mean, the weather socked in. It was miserable. We couldn't fly our airplanes back to the base, to Foster, so we had to go by boat. And I mean, the boat trip back was worse than anything. I mean, it was rough, and these were small boats that they took us back on. Maybe there were 18, 20 footers or something in the wave. Most of us got sick going back. And we got back at 3 o'clock in the morning of the 5th, the day that we graduated. And we had to get fitted for our uniforms and everything. We didn't get any kind of sleep or anything else. And we missed our banquet the night before, the night of the 4th, why they had the banquet downtown in the hotel, and all of us from Matagorda missed our graduation banquet. And books and all that stuff, we missed the handouts and all of that stuff, and it was very, very disappointing to us. Anyways, as I say, we got back at about 3 or 4 o'clock, and had to get our uniforms fitted. They were made, but we had to get them fitted. All of this took place before 6 o'clock, where we had to line up in formation for our graduation. So we did. We finally made it through there. We got it, and then what we did was we received our orders. And I was very disappointed, because instead of a second lieutenant, I was made by a flight officer. A flight officer was not an officer and not an enlisted man. It was an in-between breed. It was like a non-com in a sense and an officer in another. And I tried to figure out why I wasn't made a lieutenant or commissioned. And there was nobody to find out from, nobody, because all this was being done at the last minute. You had my orders, and and the only thing that I could figure out was that because of my poor grades, probably is why I was figured that there was a number of us. I wasn't the only one that was made a flight officer. At least there was 6 of us on my set of orders. There were more than that. I think there was probably 18 or 20 that were made flight officers. And that's the only excuse I could find that I wasn't given a commission, was because of my my academics, where I knew I was really low in them. But I graduated as a fighter pilot, and that was what was the most important to me. I got together with all our guys, and we celebrated a little bit, and then we had to leave to carry us from the 4th of December. Well, the 5th of December was our graduation day. From the 5th of December, we had 10 days leave, and we all left for home and said goodbye to Foster Field, and I proceeded back home now, and home was my mom and sister, and lived on Blackstone Avenue in Chicago at this time, at 62nd and Blackstone. And my brother, of course, was in the Army. He had been drafted into the Army, and before I even came in cadets, he was called up and was put in the Army. And
How long did it take you from when you started flight school all the way to when you finally graduated, or when you went in enlisted?
Well, I went in flight. Well, actually, you can say from February the 14th to December the 5th was when. But then that was only the beginning of our training, really, because then we were assigned to. That's another story, okay. But we were assigned to fighters after that. Some of us, we were all trained as fighter pilots that went to Foster. And half of us were only made fighter pilots. The other half were made multi-engine pilots. And that perturbed the hell out of a lot of guys, because they wanted to be fighter pilots. We wanted to go over and fight the war. So at any rate, we were sent to 115 of us were sent to, and that was a conglomeration of pilots from maybe 5 different flying schools. And we were sent to the 18th Bombardment Wing in Salt Lake City. Well, after we got there, we were all, and there were 800 or 900, maybe 1,000 guys that were there, pilots, supposedly. And it was a mixture of pilots and others. The bombardiers had also taken their training, and the navigators also. These were also officers, positions. So they all met here at the bombardment group. Well, the first day, the commanding officer of the bombardment group says, "Welcome, gentlemen. I want you to feel very welcome here at the 18th Bombardment Group." And he said, "I wish to inform you, too, that you're all going to be co-pilots on B-24s." Well, you can imagine the shock that this was to most of us fighter pilots. Well, at any rate, that was a shock, and there was not much we could do about it. Well, it seems as though we had a situation where we had to check